Alright guys, welcome back to a build video, and today we have another Gifted Conviction build. There are so many different versions of what you can do with Gifted Conviction, but this one, a while ago, it was fixed. A while ago, I mean like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, there were problems with Combination Blow proccing properly with Tempest Strike, but now it works flawlessly, and this build is just so brain dead easy to use. It's essentially an ability spam build, and Gifted Conviction, if you don't know, activating Ascension or Tempest Strike throws bouncing explosives at nearby targets that jolt and damage them. Jolting nearby targets grants you damage resistance. Also, little known thing, if you go to dim and click on Gifted Conviction, applying Jolt to enemies within 15 meters grants you a damage resist buff for 10 seconds that can stack 3 times. This is part of the same damage resist buff you get from activating Ascension or Tempest Strike, which is why I recommend always running either a jolting feedback weapon with this exotic or a volt shot weapon as well, as that does have the jolt verbiage alongside it. Now, I'm running Tractor with this because you do mainly want to buff your melee, because that's the main part. You do want to have your class as high as you can get it, so that you do get it back by using Combination Blow. That's where the synergy will come from. So you'll have Gambler's Dodge, because Ascension now activates dodge perks. So when you use Ascension, you'll get your melee back, and when you use Combination Blow, you'll get your class ability back. So it's just a really solid loop that is super hard to break, and as long as there are enemies nearby to kill with your melee, you can essentially spam this all the time, and we'll get into aspects in a second here. But Tractors, just if you want to buff that Combination Blow damage a little bit more, you could also put a 1-2 punch weapon on as well. But it's definitely not needed, because, I mean, most stuff is going to fall over anyway. These trash mobs and red bars are going to just fall over. And it does pretty good damage to, champions and whatnot. But let's get into the aspects before we go over weapon mods and armor mods and whatnot. So Spark of Resistance, just to build into that damage resist, gives you that 10 plus melee. Spark of Frequency, melee hits increase your weapon's reload speed and stability for a short time, and more importantly, while amplified, the effects are increased and you gain increased stacks of bolt charge from all sources. Spark of Feedback, taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. Spark of Recharge, while critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. And Spark of Ions, defeating a jolted target or defeating a target with bolt charge creates an ionic trace. Ionic traces will give you ability energy as well. You definitely can switch up some of these if you see fit, but I do think those are some of the better aspects or fragments you can have on. And obviously you're going to want to make sure you have Combination Blow on. Your grenade doesn't matter, although I think generally speaking Storm Grenade is still the best grenade out there, and obviously you want to make sure you have Ascension and Tempest Strike on. And armor mods, you don't really need them. I would honestly go with either double hands-on or double dynamo. Honestly, with this version of it, with the high melee stat, you're probably better off putting double hands-on on. I do have a Harmonic Siphon on, but honestly, you're not going to be using your weapons all that much with this build, so feel free to put whatever you can fit in that slot. And then obviously, heavy-handed, you're going to be killing a lot of stuff with your melee. You could put double heavy-handed on if you wanted to as well, to increase the potency of those orbs. And then a Focusing Strike just to build into that class ability energy, mostly because my class is at 56 in this version of my build with this armor set. And then you resist to match whatever you're doing. I do have double recuperation on just for healing, and absolution as well. You could throw an arc surge on if you wanted to, or whatever you see fit in that slot as well. And then for your class item, Outreach, for that reduced melee cooldown, don't necessarily need it. You could throw on literally anything else here, but Reaper is a nice one to have on in this slot as well. You could put double Reaper on, depending on what you're doing. If your class is a little bit higher, if you're using Ascension more, you could definitely do that. But you know, it's just a free orb after you use your Ascension, and then Powerful Attraction, which you can use to scoop up all of those orbs that you're going to be making. And that's pretty much it. Just go crazy with Tempest Strike and Ascension, build up that damage resist, become a tank. It is a little dangerous because you don't have to get super close to enemies in order to use Tempest Strike, but you do have to get relatively close, which does put you in danger. But again, the hope with this build is that you'll have enough damage resist to stay alive in those situations. And this is why Tractor, in my opinion, makes a ton of sense for this build. There are a lot of hunter builds that make a lot of sense with Tractor right now, with grapple melee being so strong. But again, you're going to be getting close to enemies, so why not boop them, get that extra 30% damage. And you know, you're not really using your weapons in this build anyway, so might as well have a free 30% damage boost regardless. Anyway, I'll leave you with some Mythic Mission gameplay of this build in action, and enjoy. And if you like the build, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. You can go check out links for the build to copy into DIM, or Mobalytics links if you prefer those. And I'll see you in the next one.